had a worship leader ask me recently, we've got somebody on our team that's been posting on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and using profanity in their posts. And how do I handle that? What should I do? Should I do anything at all? Well, if it was me, if I'm the leader with somebody on my team doing that, first, I want to make sure that I understand that this is not an acceptable thing. From a biblical perspective, the end of Ephesians 4, for example, it says, do not let any unwholesome or, depending on your translation, corrupting talk come out of your mouths. There is such a thing as unwholesome talk, things that should not be coming out of Christians. And so this is clearly a biblical issue that I want to address. Secondly, and something that we've talked about on more than one occasion in these videos in the past, is the idea that if you're up on the platform, there's automatically a higher standard in some ways of looking at that. People, whether you want people in the congregation to look at somebody on the platform as leader or not, they're going to do it. It's going to happen, guarantee it. And if they're up there week after week after week, people are going to see that person in some sort of leadership role in their minds. And so the standard is different. They need to be more cautious in what they say, what they do, how they act, because people are watching them. It's just a matter of fact. It's reality. And so they need to deal with that. And along with that, I want them to understand that likely they have unchristian friends, I like to say pre-Christian friends, people that don't yet know the Lord. Well, they might look at that and say, well, what kind of Christian is he? He's just like anybody else. And so there are a lot of reasons why this is not acceptable, to be doing that kind of thing. And so first course of action for me is to sit down and talk to them. Maybe before that, depending on how big of a deal you think this is. We've talked a few times about having written guidelines for your music team. Maybe if this seems like a really big issue and becoming more so, maybe that should be part of the initial guidelines so that we discuss this before they ever become part of the team. But then if it is part of the guidelines, then you've got a way to address it. If it isn't part of your guidelines, you still need to sit down and talk to the person, dialogue, discuss it, so that they understand kind of where you're coming from and why you see this as a big deal. What you can't do is just kind of ignore it, let it just keep happening, because it is going to affect others, promise you. And if that person is part of your team, you have a responsibility to talk with them and help to bring them into a greater measure of maturity and understanding in a biblical walk with the Lord. So I think it's imperative that something happens. Exactly how you walk that out, that's going to be up to you. But you can't ignore it. You need to do something. And I think dialoguing, talking it through, discussing, helping them to understand your perspective of why that's not acceptable, and even from a biblical perspective, why that's not acceptable, and maybe some alternatives, thinking through, offering to review a post before they post it so that there's somebody else that's putting eyes on it ahead of time. Whatever is necessary to help that person to get to the place where you want them to be as part of your worship team for your church.
Brought to you by MyWorshipLeadingCoach.com.
Helping you to be more fully equipped as a worship leader.